getting ready to take off on an expedition to Adak, Alaska, where we're going to be doing a circumnavigation of the island over the next week. It is April 24th now, and we will be done on May 1st. One of the main reasons for going on this trip, besides just it's really cool to be able to say that you've done a circumnavigation of an island out in the Aleutian chain, is that there's a sea lion rookery on the southwestern corner of the island, which is over on the Yakak Peninsula. That's kind of a Yakak Peninsula. So going with these two, that's Paxson and Michael, and we're going to be doing, hey there, walking around the island. So now the goal is to make it to our gate, get on the plane, take a 3.5 hour long flight, which is nearly like the same distance from Anchorage to Seattle as it is from Anchorage to Adak. So it's about a 3 hour and 20 minute long flight over to Adak. Made a quick stop to organize our bags, and now we're getting ready to go over to the Betty Rose trailhead, which will lead to Husky Pass and Expedition Harbor, which is going to, we're basically just shooting straight south. You can see behind me all these old houses. I say old because they were built when the military was here, and some of them are a little bit beaten up, haven't been taken care of, electrical fires, plumbing issues. The wind can be pretty savage here in Adak.
This road on the show.
Now we're headed up toward Husky Pass, which is basically the entrance to all of this. We're still walking along where the city water comes from, and our hike has started. This is tough, but at this point our packs are the heaviest that they're gonna be. This first part is gonna be the weakest that we're all gonna be, because I don't know if we've all done the correct amount of hiking, me especially, before this. So this is camp, or that was camp right behind me. Last night we slept over in the southern portion of Expedition Bay. It was about as cold as I was expecting from the evening. It's still kind of cold this morning. Adak's temperature doesn't fluctuate a whole lot. One thing that did happen that's kind of exciting is that this is not Alaska proof, which is just kind of funny. I was running down a hill yesterday and seemingly all at once the entire system broke apart. But we're just cooking breakfast right now, and then we have to hike on to what's called Slaughter Alley, and then down and start our trek into the Yakak Peninsula. The sun is finally out. Check it out. How nice all this is. We can get sunburned. By the way, in case you're wondering, I'm safe. I'm a safe guy. You can see behind me right now these old power lines, and we're on the Yakak Peninsula right now, but we found these old power lines that look like they go all the way to the southern part of the island, which means that at some point there was probably some military installation there, and they ran power, which is kind of an epic feat of infrastructure, all the way down this, and they're totally destroyed now. We're just going to keep following them to the southern part of the island, and that should lead us pretty close to the rookery, although I don't think we're going to make it that far tonight. I think maybe we've done, I don't know, 13 miles today. Day 3, and we ended up hiking about 14 miles yesterday. We are 7 or 6 miles away from the Sea Lion Rookery, so that's going to be the first mission. We also just decided that since it's a peninsula and we're going to have to walk there and then walk back, we're just going to leave our camping stuff, which is here, which I'm in. This is Michael's tent, and then over there, we're just going to leave this stuff right where it is, and then we're going to come back to it. The very end of the Yakak Peninsula. After about 27 miles of hiking over 3 days, we are now getting hit with a waft of terrible smells. Just absolutely awful. I think we found it. This is really great. We just finally found the sea lions, but right before we did, there's an entire school of orcas waiting right outside where these sea lions are supposed to be. We can't get too close because of the cliffs, but I have an idea, and I think I can get a closer vantage point. Walk back has been a little bit longer than what I expected. I think the whole trip along the Yakak Peninsula was longer than I expected. Today will end up being maybe like 18 miles, which grand scheme of things isn't that bad. Man, I'm pretty tired. I feel pretty gassed at this point. In the grand scheme of things, isn't that bad. And the views were spectacular. And how often do you get to see killer whales waiting to eat sea lions? It was a great day, still kind of tired. Yesterday was rough. It's done now. We are now off the Yakak Peninsula. There's a group of caribou right now. And so these caribou were brought over from interior Alaska, so they're pretty white. And the landscape is, you know, kind of beige, brown, gross, dead grass, green. And so these caribou usually stick out notably. But we're walking down to the beach, because now we're off the Adak Peninsula, and I think we just discovered like a trash loot palace. talking as we walk over a snowy pass. And now, we're going to go over to Frozen Lake, where we're going to camp this evening. The weather got really shitty yesterday. We ended up coming out near the Lake Betty trailhead, which was great. I think it was like 30-mile-an-hour winds by the time we were done, so it was really nice to get out, and now we're just kind of exploring the old towns. Tomorrow we should be doing a hike, but today we're just checking out the old towns. And just kind of like walking through peacefully in these buildings and just kind of looking and seeing what it used to be. For those who don't know, Adak used to be a military town. It used to be one of the most populated towns in Alaska it was the 5th largest population in the state, 5th largest, and so now it's just totally abandoned. There's like 200 people who live here and about 3,000 caribou. Top of Adak, which is a mountain on, I guess, the northeast side of Adak. So we're getting up to the top of Adak, just as a nice little day hike, and it feels like real winter up here again. I'm gonna see again. I can't get a nice shot to show you guys a little perspective about where we are. Near the top of Adak, this is the way down the mountain. Oh, I made it!
This is very dignified, slow motion.
Very dignified. Oh. Thank you so much for joining me and us, my friends, on this Adak adventure. It's an incredible place, and I hope that one day you're able to visit. And if not, I hope I'm able to come back one day and show you a little bit more of it. I feel like I got really lucky with a lot of the views. The 30 to 40 mile an hour winds here on Adak are a little bit more of a consistent feature. And so the fact that we had sun, nice weather, we even got up to 50 degrees at one time. That was pretty nice. Pretty hard to beat that. Until next time, peace.